You don't know already.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is, guys. I told you already. If I wear this attire, it means things are about to go down. Pew, 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 pew. Things are about to go down. Today we're talking to you guys about why good guys keep meeting these bad girls. Why good guys keep making these toxic bad girls? Why do you good guys keep meeting these girls? Yeah, I'm gonna break it down for you. Why you keep meeting these bad girls? And I keep telling you, listen, this is for both women and men. So ladies, if you keep meeting bad boys, this is also for you as well. All right, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. All right, cool. Let's get into talking about good guys, why you keep meeting these bad girls. But let me tell you a little story to break it into, to make you understand this. If you haven't watched part one, where we spoke about obviously why bad girls keep taking advantage of you, go and watch part one. But here we go. Why do good guys keep meeting bad girls? Here's the thing. As I said, I worked in a bank for many number of years, okay? And in that time, when I started, I came a few months after an incident had happened at the actual branch, okay? At the branch, what had happened was that a person had actually managed to take money, okay, from the safe. So an employee who worked at the bank managed to take money from the actual safe and from the bank. I want to say this disclaimer, yeah, because not all the things I'm saying may not be factual. Meaning I might have changed a few details to make the story fit, okay? Now, the particular guy obviously, most of it's true. The particular guy obviously had taken a couple £1,000s from the safe, okay? Let me tell you how he did this, okay? The story goes that obviously he had worked there for a few years, so he had the trust of all his colleagues, okay? But there were procedures that were in place. For instance, you can't hold two sides of a key. So if you were blue, you couldn't hold red keys. If you were red keys, you can't hold blue keys. You should never be holding it. Holding both sets of keys. Now, occasionally this happens where, you know, procedures and protocols maybe have to be broken due to the fact that unforeseen circumstances where staffing is on a mad thing. Yeah, it can happen. Yeah, it can happen on a very rare occasion. But procedure that should be followed is that both keys should never be in the hand of one person. Yeah, because the safe itself needs to be opened by two sets of people. Now, at this point in time, that guy, nobody knew, that guy had gambling debts. So he got desperate, right? And because he had the trust of his colleagues, one day, one of the colleagues broke protocol by giving him their set of keys. Let's say he was red side. He asked for the blue side of keys and he would go and put the money in the cash so they can get home quicker today. Yeah, that was the story. Went and put the cash away, okay, took a couple grands, okay, closed the safe, came back up, they exited the building. The next day, he didn't turn up for work. Then they found out they were a couple of £1,000s short, right? Now, there was an investigation that was launched by the bank, and the police were then involved. Because obviously you didn't turn up to work, and a couple of grand's missing as well. You went to turn up to work, you're looking a bit suspect. And then for a few days after, he didn't turn up as well. So when they did the investigation, they found out that, number one, protocol was broken, and procedures. Number two, that he had used he had used his leverage as a trusting person to get the keys to be able to then take the money out of the safe, etc., right? Because he was paying for gambling debts. Okay, cool. What am I saying all of this for? The reason why I'm telling all of this is because you have to understand procedure and protocol. Okay, it's very important. Now, the bank, after he had been found guilty, etc., changed procedure. When they investigated how the procedure worked, they changed it. They made it automatic and said everybody has to sign for a key. Once your name is underneath that thing, you are responsible. So now, if anything was to happen where the bank got robbed, then the two people that held the keys would then now become culpable. So even if you didn't rob it, you become culpable because you should have never given your key to somebody else. That's accountability. Yeah? Cool. Because the safe requires two keys. All right, cool. So now they renewed the procedure and protocol to make sure this didn't happen again. After they reviewed it and investigated it, they sat down and said, this couldn't happen again. Here's how we're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. Procedures, as we said, is an established way or an official way of doing something. There's an official way you should be doing dating to help you establish boundaries, to help the person who's coming in contact with you to know there are levels to this thing and how they should and shouldn't treat you. Okay? Before you get into any relationship or dating, you should know your standard and you should know your procedures and protocols and the consequences of those protocols and procedures when somebody breaches that code. Okay? So when procedures are broken due to trust, it's because we allow our emotions to determine our actions. When the colleague decided to break protocol, it was simply because they trusted that person, that they were willing to override protocol. Here's the thing, you never override protocol. You never do it. You never do it. There may be a nuance here. For instance, let's say my red flag is like, if you start insulting me, yeah? And I'm in a relationship and there's an argument, you start insulting me, I will give you a fair warning. This is just like in banking. I will give you a fair warning. Yeah? Don't do it again because of consequences. Now, the second time it happens, I'm like, listen, I'm going to tell you this. And look, I've told you the first time, you've had a warning now. This is an official saying. If you do it again, I will have to leave. The third time happens. I appreciate you. I know you said that you got problems. I'm so sorry for that. I'm leaving. Right? And I'm telling you this because I didn't do it. I had my procedures and I didn't do it because I was a good guy, trying to understand and be empathetic. I didn't do it. It cost me. I'm telling you from experience. So good guys, listen to me very clear. Don't come on a, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop blaming women. At a time, you have to start thinking to yourself, if every girl that you've come across, okay, every girl you come across is a bad girl, you're going to have to look at yourself. Women, if every guy you come across is a bad guy, you're going to have to start looking at your procedures. It's that simple. You're going to have to look at your procedures. Yeah? So here's the thing. When that colleague allowed their emotion to break the protocol and not to adhere to it, you understand? And now the bank got robbed. Okay? Yeah? When you cut procedures, there are going to be errors. There's going to be heartbreak for you. Okay? Because you think to yourself, oh, if I allow them on the procedures, oh, it's you know, I care about them so much, they care about me so much. It's a mistake. And as I said, you give them warning. But you have to be able to follow through. Once you've done one or two, listen, on the third occasion, you got to now send them on their way because, you know, fool me once, shame on me. Do you know what I mean? You know the one anyway, basically, yeah? But you are governing how they're going to treat you by the way that you set up your standards. If you keep allowing them to get away with this, that person is going to keep abusing it because they keep getting away with it. It's that simple. You become an enabler at that point in time. Anybody trying to break your procedures isn't someone you want in your life anyway. Okay? And here's the thing. Procedures are said before you start the job. So before you start a relationship, you have to let that person know. You cannot go into it blind and be like, oh, my procedure is basically now you've done it. No, but you should have told me from before I started a relationship so I know exactly what I'm getting into. But it's never too late, okay? It's never too late. But you should be letting that person know from the very jump, here are my boundaries, here are my expectations, here are my standards. If you can't meet that, it's nothing bougie about it. Ladies, you got to pack your bags and go. Okay? Yeah? Pack your bags and go. Okay? It's okay, but it's okay. All right? It's for the better for you and for them. Okay? Because anybody trying to break that procedure doesn't really care about you. Or I should say, anybody breaking that procedure, okay, isn't good for you. Simple. Okay? You know, and when the first time it happens, you learn from it. So if you're a good guy and you keep meeting the bad girls, what have you been learning? Because evidently you haven't changed procedures. Your excuse is that, oh, women are bad. No. No. Okay? It's not women are bad. You are bad. Because at this point in time, it's happened a few times now. Review the procedure. Review it. You should naturally be... See, when the bank got robbed that time, they sent investigators. Investigation basically for you is self-reflection and critical analysis of behavior of what you did in the past. What can be done better? What can be done better. If you keep choosing the cheating type, it's time to review how you met these people and what they were doing at the beginning that you are noticing similarities and patterns of, and say, hey, this type of person I won't engage with. The problem with good guys is they don't self-reflect. They think their goodness deserves to have a good girl. No, it doesn't work like that. Your goodness does not deserve to have good people. No. And oftentimes your goodness is actually is people pleasing, not necessarily you're good. You do it with the hope that they will do it in return. It's not genuine goodness oftentimes. But here's the thing. Your goodness does not necessarily mean you'll get a good person in return. I mean, there are many people out there that are willing to take advantage of people by opportunity, or they are con men. I've said this in the very first video. And there are people who are unaware of their own poison they carry. And when they meet you unprepared, unprotocoled, unprocedured, no boundaries, they will take advantage. Yeah, because unfortunately they're unaware. So the first time this happens to you, you learn and you review and you put in new protocols and procedures. The second time it happens, again, you review and you say, actually, what is a pattern here? What are the similarities here? And you learn and you review, and so on and so on. Okay? At a point, you have to self-reflect and look at yourself. You keep meeting narcissists, ask yourself the reason why. What traits am I showing that these narcissists are thinking that it's me that they should be looking at? Because let me tell you something, narcissists know what traits they're looking for in you. It's you that doesn't know. They know exactly. Look, the lion that is chasing the prey doesn't just choose any antelope. Don't be a fool. The lion that's an antelope doesn't just choose an antelope. It knows exactly what type of antelope. It wants to go for the weakest. It wants to go for the one that isn't protected very well by the pack. It wants to go by the one that's at the very back of the pack, right? Because the procedures are not right. It wants to go for the ones that are vulnerable. Stop showing that vulnerability by not having good procedures and protocols in place. And stop, do you know what I'm saying? So at a point in time, you have to look at yourself and say, what procedures am I not doing that is inviting the same type of girl to keep coming to me time and time and time again? Let me be very frank with you. If you keep meeting these bad girls, they are looking for you. If you keep meeting these bad girls, they are sniffing you like a shark sniff blood. They are seeking you like prey because you emanate prey energy. Because you refuse to do what the work is telling you to do, which is to review your boundaries. And when you do review your boundaries, you must institute it. Another thing is this. Oftentimes, like I said, I mentioned in another video about victim blaming. When you go into victim complex, when you go into victim problems, woe is always me. The world is always wrong. Da 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 da. You are setting yourself up to be a prey. The bad girls are seeing you and knowing that you are the one. Yeah, no, you are the one. You got all that goodness. I'm gonna use you. Do you think these girls that'll call you at 5 a.m. to come and take you from their man's house to someone else to their own home, they don't know that you're a victim? They know you're a victim. They know you're a victim. You girls who are going with these guys who are using you for cars and watches, they know you're a victim. They know you're a victim. You understand? They know you're a victim because they can see the energy you're putting out there. Your desperation is causing you to buy stuff you don't need. Your desperation is leading you to aisles to pick stuff you don't need. Your desperation is causing you to say, I'm hungry. But really, when you shop when you're hungry, you buy stuff you don't need. And now you've got something that you don't need. Stop it. Stop it. It is time to have proper procedures, boundaries. Stop being so desperate. Work on yourself. Being single is not working on yourself. Let me say this again. Being single isn't working on yourself. Being single isn't working on yourself. Being single is being single. You can be single and not work on yourself and still have the same baggage because you've not dealt with the issues at hand. And many of us have traumas that are causing us to be people pleasers. enablers, codependents. The list goes on. But it's time to review the procedures as to why is it always me. Appreciate it, guys. This is episode 2 of the series. If you want to see more of this, we're going to do some more coming up to you. Appreciate it, guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. Good guys can win. You just need to review your procedures.